bada boom, bada bang, bada Baby MagMax. Look at this. This is the Puma MagMax Jr, aka Baby MagMax, aka Little Max, aka Mag Little, aka Mag Man Small. Should I keep going? AKA, that's a Lil Mag, AKA Lil Mag Flexin', AKA, I can't do it anymore. This is the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit, AKA Puma Baby MagMax Jr. Shout out to Ken Griffey putting in work. This is the shoe we're gonna be running in today. Before we get into the video though, I did want to just say thank you to everyone because I posted the ultra marathon video on Saturday. It was a really solid run, but you guys know what happened if you watch the video. I got DQ'd because I missed a turn. I still ran the full 50K, but the amount of support that I got on Strava, on the Supwell app, on the comments, and I tried to respond to most of the comments last night, and I'll probably be responding to more today, but I really appreciate you guys for all the support. Everyone, just the flooding of positivity. It was awesome to see. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you. I also have to do, because I'm a businessman, I have to do the requisite Supwell app plug. I would love to not make this a commercially minded intro, but I have to. So if you also want to experience a rush of positivity, look at that. I'm going to spin it and sell it. Make sure you're signed up for the Supwell app. You can see it on my shirt. And I'm joking around a little bit here, but I am serious. The Supwell community is one of the most supportive communities, probably the most supportive community I've ever been a part of. It's a place where people are coming, sharing their stories of health. People are sharing every day these inspirational runs and what they're doing to get better. So link in the description to sign up. It's my community. It's $5 a month. I'm trying to figure out the right pricing for this. I'm honestly not sure if the $5 a month is the right pricing. I might do an update to talk to people on the app about this. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. I would love to grow the community, so get in there and give it a shot if you have not yet. I really appreciate everyone else out there putting in the work. Thank you again for the support and the positivity. We're outside grinding, getting active. The only DQ I know is didn't quit. Can you even see me? It was too dark the first time. Fellow hobby joggers, it is Monday, December 9th, 7:58 a.m. and we are back. I almost want to say back outside, like the back outside boys on the street, but that's not true. We're back inside at the shoe market, back inside at the Mint Hill Shoe Market, and today we are gonna get some miles in the Baby MagMax. That's what's inside the box here, the Baby MagMax. You guys might know the Puma MagMax is one of my favorite shoes of the year. Matter of fact, it's sitting on my rotation shelf over there. I cleaned up the entire office here so that on this shelf we only have the shoes that I'm testing, like the Evo SL. I need to get some more miles in that. Or, I don't know, I put the Mach X2. I have no idea why that's there. Super Blast 2, I'm still testing in it. Glycerin Max, that's what I use to run with the family. And the MagMax, that's my cruiser. And then I actually don't know why some of these shoes are on there, but these are just the shoes I left on the rotation shelf. You can see the Tecton X3. Well, you can't because it's kind of dark. There you go. You can see the Tecton X3 made it to the rotation shelf because that's my trail beast. The more trail is there because that's dad swag. And then up there we have the MagMax. Let me go grab it. So this is Puma's, ooh, let's fix that lighting, man. This is Puma's Max Cushion Cruiser. This is their Super Max Stack shoe. The best or second best Super Max Stack shoe on the market, in my hobby jogger opinion. It has a thick stack. And when I say thick, I mean thick stack of this race foam up at almost 50 millimeters down here. 10 millimeter drop, but it doesn't feel like that all the time. Nice slight rocker or toe spring up in the front here. Really grippy Puma grip outsole, and it's great for all types of runs. Great for long runs. I've taken this up to 23 miles at a relaxed pace, so that took me 3 hours. It's great for even workouts. Now, it does work the hips some because it's a higher stack shoe, and I did feel I was maybe fighting against the foam, but it's great for picking up the pace, man. I did a 10-mile progression where I was getting down to 6 flat pace, getting down to marathon pace, and then the next day I did a 540 pace threshold repeat workout on the build to Chicago on my taper week. So this is an absolute tank. I also learned about Ned Brockman recently. He's an Aussie dude. His haircut is wild. He's a beast. Total hobby jogger. I should send him a hobby jogger hat if I can. If anyone knows how I can get in contact with people to send them stuff, let me know. I would love to send people hobby jogger hats like that. Someone who ran, I think he ran 1,000 miles in 5 days or something like that in the MagMax. I'm not sure of the exact details. Do fact check me so you can get the exact details. But yeah, this is a beast. If I were going to pick one shoe to run 1,000 miles in a few days. Now, he's sponsored by Puma or has a partnership with Puma, so of course he chose this. But if I were going to do that same thing on the roads, this might be the shoe that I pick, and I'm not even sponsored by Puma. It's just probably the best shoe to do something like that. It is a complete tank. I enjoy the ride of it more than the Super Blast. It feels bouncier. It feels softer. Now, the Super Blast is lighter than this guy. Glycerin Max is softer than this guy, but it's a workhorse. It reminds me of something like the Nike Vomero, but just dialed up to the max. It's that one shoe in my rotation where I just want to grind out miles. This is the one I'm picking. And because it has such a great outsole here and it feels so sturdy with the wide and solid base, I know I can use it for any type of run. So with all that praise of the MagMax out of the way, and by the way, I did buy it with my own money. This is what I talked about this in the other video the other day, man, because I got this free stuff from Tracksmith, and I said, I know people are going to accuse me of selling out now. Here's the thing. Whether I buy the shoes with my own money or I get them from the brands, I'm going to stand on business either way. I'm an analyst, I'm a tester, and I give my opinion. That's what I do. Man, I was getting kicked out of school in the 5th grade. You can ask my mom. I was getting kicked out of school in the 5th grade for talking back to the teachers. I just say what I think. So you can't, man, this is the thing. You can't take the dog out of the shoe market. That makes no sense. What is this? This is the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. This is the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. And I'm calling it the Baby MagMax because it looks eerily, oddly similar to the MagMax. They've also made some slight changes from the standard Puma ForeverRun Nitro and this that make it even more similar to the MagMax. So let me go grab the ForeverRun Nitro real quick, and then we can pull this out. Okay, that took me a second because this was buried on the shelf next to the Saucony Ride and Oomph. So this was not one of my favorite shoes of the year. I actually only ran in it one time, and maybe it needed some time to soften up. This is Puma's stability shoe. The colorway here and the design of it, let's darken that out a bit, is atrocious to me. I do not like this yellow. I do not like these weird bubbles. It looks like that disease from the Game of Thrones. Remember that disease where they had to scrape it off people, but if you touched it, it would get all over you? That's what the design on this upper looks like. And this color combination is not fire. So not one of my favorite shoes of the year. The foam itself was actually good though. It was just, I did not like the fit of the upper. It has this stability shoe feeling. So this is a cushioned everyday shoe or max cushion shoe with some support built in. It's not a super aggressive stability shoe, but how they've applied the stability to it for me made it not feel that great. So in the upper here, you have this plastic piece similar to the Saucony Endorphin Shift 3, which I loved, but it felt like it was locking my foot down really good in the back, and I couldn't move my ankle much there. And then in the front, not that much of a rocker. So 10 millimeter drop and not that much of a rocker. However, the foam was bouncy, and I've heard it take some time to break in, but didn't quite hit for me here, and the colorway was not that great. But let's open up the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit, because this is a slightly different shoe. Bada boom, bada bang. Woo! Look at that. Right away, you can see the differences, man. First of all, clean colorway. Now you can see what I'm talking about with the Baby MagMax vibes here. It legit looks like a Baby MagMax, especially if you... Now, do we have to brighten it up? Is that too bright? I don't know. we're a podcast now, so it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter still. So look at this. These two shoes, they look like father and son, right? Look at that. And for some reason, this shoe legit has a better rocker than the other shoe. So this is the thing. The whole reason I found this shoe was because somebody posted on the Supwell app, and they said, check out the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. It's a slightly different shoe than the standard ForeverRun Nitro. And they were right. Look at this rocker on the ForeverRun Nitro Knit compared to the standard ForeverRun Nitro. It is super flat here. You can see it better from this angle. Look at how the white one curves up. That is a different shoe. That is a different rocker. Also, some sites have reported a different stack height where the front of the ForeverRun Nitro Knit has a few more millimeters in stack versus the ForeverRun Nitro, the standard, the weird yellow Game of Thrones disease one. Also, the uppers are different, and that is the main difference here, at least in the name. The knit is coming in. Do we have to darken it out again? Gosh, it's a tweener, a little bit of a tweener. The upper on the Nitro Knit, you can see there's two overlays here, and there's 3 overlays on the standard ForeverRun Nitro. It's also a completely different material. That's where the knit is coming from. It is a knit upper, and it's a one-piece upper. It's a sock upper. I love these things. Puma's known for making a bunch of, oh, that's weird. I've never even seen there's a support piece or a piece in the back. Just a cardboard piece in the back. I've never seen that. But yeah, Puma's known for making a bunch of lifestyle shoes. If you ever see Russian moms walking at a park, they're probably going to be wearing a Puma. Same thing with Bulgarians, same thing with Slovakians. So they've put the Eastern European upper, bang, right on top of the revised midsole here. So new upper, Soviet certified, curved toe here, potentially a different stack height. And this is where I wish I had tools to measure, because visually it looks really similar to me, the stack height. Maybe I'll get it on foot and do a comparison, but a few people have said it's different. I think Running Warehouse had it listed pretty similarly. But foam, let's do a quick foam check here. Pushing on the foam on the Nitro Knit. Feels pretty similar as well. It does not feel softer, but I'm hoping that the changes they've made with contouring this rocker make it a livelier, more fun ride. Also, take a look at this. Insole designed and engineered with expertise from Kaiser Sport Orthopedy. Let's touch it. Pushing in the insole. Not super soft. Can I remove it? This is my new thing. I love soft, removable insoles. I really want to make some insoles. This is okay. It's decent. This is better than something like what you find in an ASIC shoe like the Super Blast, but not as good as the Saucony insoles. So step in comfort will probably be medium. We'll have to see. And overall, I do like the design of this. It reminds me a lot of that all-white colorway from the MagMax, which is now super hard to find, but much cleaner than what we have in the standard Nitro. Let's take a look at the bottom here. Did they change anything with the bottom of these outsoles? Nope. Bottom outsoles are identical. Puma logo stamped right in the back with the Puma grip, and then you have a continuation of the scaly disease pattern on the bottom. But here it has more of a coffee bean aesthetic. One interesting thing I am noticing, though, is that if you look at the sheen of the foam, through the bottom, on the knit version, it's different for sure. You can see these striations, these lines on the inner layer of foam. That does not happen. Look at this. That's not happening in the standard version. So potentially a different foam comp. I'm trying to get the right lighting on this so you can see. That's the right angle right there. See those lines? That's not happening on this guy. The other thing is definitely thicker. From this angle, you can see that. The ForeverRun Nitro Knit, this bottom layer of foam that's being cut through with these teardrop shapes is thicker. It's about 2 millimeters thicker over here than the standard ForeverRun. And it wouldn't just be compression through running, because I've only run in the standard ForeverRun one time. So it's not like I smashed the foam down a ton. It would have rebounded now. That was one time a few months ago, maybe even 6 months ago at this point. So maybe that's where the thicker stack height is coming from. So potentially we might have some slightly revised materials in the ForeverRun Nitro. I actually did hear somebody posted a screenshot on, I can't remember if it was the Supwell app or another forum, of Puma representatives saying that they were updating, those customer service representatives saying that they were updating foams across the line, even in the same model generation of shoes. So is this an updated foam here? We'll have to see. Looks pretty similar to me, but other than it, there's definitely a different stack height on this bottom layer than what we have in the ForeverRun. Ooh, yeah, this is different for sure. This core foam is different for sure, so maybe that's where those differences are coming in. But we'll have to get it out there and see. This honestly feels more like a race foam when I'm pushing in through the middle here. And I do think this is a dual layer construction where you have one version of Nitro on the outside and then a different version of Nitro in the middle. And this middle version in the knit, this feels peppy. Let's see. It feels slightly softer. I don't think I could get the... Yeah, I don't think I could get the, what is it called, durometer in here to check just because of the way this is set up, but it does feel different. It feels different for sure, and it's deeper. So revised midsole, revised upper, way better colorway here. Plus, I got this for $70. I got this for $70 on Dick's Sporting Goods. That's the other reason why I wanted to check this out. $70 Puma Baby MagMax. Is it going to be a banger? We'll have to find out. First, let's throw it on the scale. All white. Throw it on the scale like a Pusha T brick. All right, man. Throwing the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit on the scale here. Look at that. 305.5 grams. I was looking at Running Warehouse. This stack height is still in the mid-high 30s, so it's not a super max stack shoe. It is a cushion everyday shoe. Hold on. I have a bloody nose again. Man, my nose has just been bleeding all morning. I don't know what it is. It's the dry from being inside. All right, man, bloody nose or not, this show has to go on. I don't know what's happening there, but 305.5 grams. It's not a super max stack shoe, but decent amount of cushion. That's not lightweight for what it is. That's also not super heavy for what it is. It is on the heavier side for the amount of cushion here. This is definitely not a lightweight tempo speed shoe that you're going to want to take out for a bunch of fast sub-3 marathon workouts. You probably could, depending on how it performs, but it's not going to be the lightest weight option for that. Even in Puma's line, there's a lot of better options like the Velocity Nitro 3 if you want a non-plated, faster daily shoe, or the Deviate Nitro 3. Now let's throw on the standard version, and yeah, man, this is so much flatter. Just looking at it on camera, look at the difference, how the knit curves, and then how the standard one is flat. The whole bottom of the shoe just looks flat. It almost looks like in the back we get more of a curve too. That just might be the colorway. I think that's just the colorway, but the front is definitely curving more on the knit. Let's put this guy on. This is coming in at 299 grams. So is that additional weight from the upper on the Nitro Knit, or is that just manufacturing variation? Let's see. Let's do the QA check first, just so we can get that out of the way and see if there's some variation between these two. This is 308.5. No, so it does look like the knit is a touch heavier, probably because of the knit upper, and maybe they revised those foam compounds too, or if you're getting the additional stack height from this bottom layer of foam here, that would increase the weight as well. So compared to the standard MagMax, the Daddy Max, Daddy Magma, this guy is 322 grams, which is heavier than the knit. But if we're comparing this to the other super max stack shoes, that's right on par. Glycerin is right around 320, 330. The Skyward X is right around that 320, 330. The Super Blast is the one that is significantly lighter at around 260 to 270 stock, but I had to mod my Super Blast. I put the bust down Saucony ForeverRun Plus insole inside my Super Blast, and now that guy's sitting at a thick 280. We had to beef it up. Cushy, comfort, soft winter boy gang in the Super Blast. But let's compare some other shoes to the Nitro Knit in the same category. I'm gonna take you guys with me so I can show you. What should we pick today? Oh no, man. Oh no, My beautiful Surge 3s. Oh man, these are rocked. All right, let's take these. Let's take the Nimbus. And let's take one stable neutral shoe or mild stability shoe. Bada boom, bada bang. Man, it's a sad day. It's a sad day when our all-white shoe has some damage on it. You see that? That's not what we want to see. And right there, too. It's because I was wearing these for the breakdown last week. I must have kicked some dirt. This is the Saucony Surge 3, another banger shoe that you can get for $60. $60 shoe. It's almost like a baby Hurricane. It uses a similar foam to the old Saucony Triumph shoes. Very cushioned and comfortable. It is on the heavier side here, 333.5 grams. Anything above 310 in my size is heavy, but for $60 in this guy, you're getting a super comfortable shoe, a great max stack shoe for walking around, for jogging, anything where you want a comfortable shoe. This thing's going to be great. I tested it on a 10-mile run, and it was a banger. It was bouncy, comfortable cushion. A bunch of people have bought it since I highlighted that $60 deal on the channel, and most people seem happy. Everyone who's told me they bought it has seemed happy with it so far. It is a really good deal if you want a comfortable cushion shoe for the winter. $60 Saucony Surge 3. Now, let's put on another cushion shoe that I've been liking in the later part of the year here, Asics Gel Nimbus 26. And another cushion shoe you can find on a deal. So the 27 is coming out soon. So this guy is on sale for $120 at most places. And if you have the discount code from the Supwell app, you can get it for closer to $100. I think it comes down to $107 or $108 with our discount code. So Asics Gel Nimbus 26. 324.5 grams. And as you can see here, some of my favorite shoes aren't the lightest weight ones. Hoka Skyward X, which is one of my favorite shoes of the year. I have over 100 miles on that, 330 grams. Puma MagMax, 320 grams. So at my level of mileage where I'm crushing 100-mile weeks, a lot of my runs are at a relaxed pace, and I just want that cushion, that comfort, and that support. And that's what you get most of the time with the additional weight. So 310 grams for the Nitro Knit. That's not bad. Now let's throw on a true competitor to this shoe, New Balance 860 V14. I haven't run this guy in a while. It actually has dust on the bottom. That's crazy. This was one of my favorite daily trainers of the year. It's just I've been testing so many other things and running in all the super max stack shoes so much because that's just what I've been liking that I haven't run in this all that much. But we'll have to change that through the last few weeks of the year because this is a really good shoe. I also, man, the colorway I have is so lame. It is so lame. It is a bright blue. I just do not like it. It looks like a grade school shoe. It looks like a kindergarten shoe. But this comes in at 307 grams. Very similar to the Nitro Knit. And this uses two different types of foam. So an awesome version of fresh foam on the top here that's bouncy. It's not too soft, not too firm. And then a firmer foam on the bottom for stability. And this red piece is a red piece going right through the middle. It's actually a plastic plate. They call it the stability plane, but it is a plastic plate. So they have a plate in a stability shoe. This is a really awesome shoe. I've recommended it to so many people as that go-to daily trainer. This and the Nova Blast 5, two of the best shoes you can get for $140 if you want a no-nonsense shoe that's just going to work for all your runs and you don't have to think about it. So really good shoe. Same weight as our friend here, Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. I think it's time to get this thing on foot and see how it fits. How does the knit fit? Is it legit? That was a moderate Kobe. Bang. Alley-oop. Off the backboard. Shack. That was a shack. I was just listening to the song Gun or Knife by Benny the Butcher and 38 Special from Stabbed. Is it Stabbed and Shot? I think it's Stabbed and Shot 1 from 2018. It's a great album if you like rap. And you know what they said on the song Gun or Knife? I ran it up, I got broke, and then I did it again. And that's the attitude we need to have. After we take an L, after we DQ, after we make a mistake, after we have a failure, get right back up there and run it up. So that's why we're back outside at the shoe market putting in work. You guys already know that. It's time to go. It's time to work. Lacing up the ForeverRun Nitro Knit here. I love me a good knit upper. Knit uppers are the best. This reminds me of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, which has a knit upper, those old Nike free run shoes. Knit uppers are the best. The Ultra Boost also had a knit upper. This does it better than the Ultra Boost. It also has more holes. The Ultra Boost upper only had something like 4 or 5 holes, which just made it feel way more like a lifestyle shoe. This does have a tad bit of that lifestyle look from the top. Just, you always have a lifestyle look with the knit upper. Even the Alpha Fly has, I don't know if you'd call it a knit upper, but a one-piece upper like this, and it still gives lifestyle vibes, and that is the furthest thing from a lifestyle shoe. Well, I guess people do use the Alpha Fly as a lifestyle shoe, but it's not. It's not a lifestyle shoe. This thing, it feels good. It feels good. It is snug. Let's see. The classic question with Puma, it's not the length. The length is fine. It's always going to be the width of the toe box. It's a tad snug. It's 5%, 3% snugger than I would prefer lacing it up here. But for a daily trainer, I think this is going to be fine for me. I do have a purple toenail on my left big toe from... Well, there's a confluence of factors on that one. Initially from the Action Bronson Rebel V4, which ironically was very small compared to the standard Rebel. I feel like they should have made that one bigger for the Max Cushion gang. Shout out to Action Bronson putting in work. With that one, completely destroyed my left toenail, even though I had it in the same size as my other Rebel, which I ran 100 plus miles in. And then the Evo SL, I ran a 30-mile long run in that, and over the course of 30 miles, my toenail got even more jammed up. And then on Saturday, that was the Pierre de Resistance in the Hoka Tecton X3 in the freezing cold. Felt like I was getting electrical currents going through that left big toe. So we'll stay apprised of the latest on that one. For now, there's no pain, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how this evolves. It is purple, but fit is good. True to size for sure. When it comes to the length, nice comfortable upper. Let's do a walk test. You guys hear the slight bird sounds right now? You hear what they're saying? Go run it up. Go get back out there. Go put in work. Yes, sir. Let's go. Keep going. Get back outside and get active. That's what the birds are saying. A lot of these boys still in bed, down bad after they take an L. Not us. Not on this side. So this feels very normal. This feels very normal, but it's not. It doesn't have mind-blowing step-in comfort. It's not uncomfortable either. I can still feel that chunky, restrictive heel. I was hoping that would be fixed in here. We'll have to see how it evolves on the run, but when I ran in this shoe the first time, or the other version of this shoe, which seems has a slightly different midsole, I did feel like my ankle and back of my heel was just getting locked down a ton. So we'll see if there's some more flexibility and freedom of movement in this guy. I don't know. Here's my prediction. I think this is going to be a fine shoe. For $70, it's a good deal regardless if it's a fine shoe, but I don't know if it's going to be as big of a banger as the Surge 3 was for $60, but we'll just have to see. Plan for this run this morning. I just ran that Ultra on, what was it? Oh my gosh, guys, these things are just... They just can't give us a break, these chickens, man. They ate all the slugs. They're still here mooching off my property. Don't be a chicken, man. You know what the chickens are doing? Just going and stealing from other people. Just moochers. Complete moochers. Yeah, plan for this run, 4 to 6 mile recovery run. I'm going to keep it light. I had the Ultra on Saturday. I didn't run yesterday. I think people think I do a run streak. I don't. I don't take very many total off days from running because I like running and it's enjoyable for me to run, and I usually have a better day. For example, I used to take some Saturdays off, but then I realized I was in a worse mood with the family. So if I go and force myself to get that 4 miles in the morning, before the family gets up or we do a family run. I'm in a better mood. And here's the other thing about the chickens, man. Look at the mulch situation. That's not Supwell certified mulch. Look at the brick retaining wall. I don't know what you call it. And then look how the mulch is spilling out onto the grass. This is the thing that makes me gosh dang annoyed, because I'm dropping an alpha fly every month to pay for the grass to look nice. And then meanwhile, we have these chickens who are coming over here and completely destroying it. Yeah, dude, I'm talking to you. What the heck, man? I might have to file a civil suit on my neighbors, or at least get them to pay for some of this lawn care. Gosh dang. All right, man, we need to get these miles in. Recovery run. And look at this, too. This is just complete it's not even shenanigans. This is going to be neighborhood war. I'll talk to the mayor about this one. This is not Supwell certified. We got to leave these over here. All right, recovery run. Let's do this thing. Get off my property. Gosh dang. So the other thing, it's warmer today. Ooh, I probably could have gone with the quarter zip or a long sleeve. I'm in my Supwell short sleeve shirt. I think I got overly ambitious with my dressing because it's not as cold as last week. But yeah, this is still long sleeve territory. I do have gloves on. All right. Early overreaction of the ForeverRun Nitro here. This is solid. This is solid for sure. There's a good bounce to it. It's on the firmer side of not too soft, not too firm. Matter of fact, if soft is 10 and firm is 1, this is probably a 3 or 4. So firmer, but I can feel, even as I don't know if I call this picking up the pace, but running with more authority in the first few minutes here, it does come alive. And better toe off for sure. I'm not getting as much of that flat feeling. So early overreaction, definite workhorse vibes. For $70, if you're on a budget and want stability, this seems like a great pick out of the box here. And it does have some of that same bounce as the MagMax. First straightaway here, it is wet. Puma grip is solid per usual on the wet leaves and everything. Leg check on the first straightaway, sore for sure. Dom's is fully triggered. Dom's is super triggered today. My butt cheeks, those puppies are sore. My right quad, that's sore for sure. That is sore. My calves are actually not too bad. It's really just my upper legs. Yeah, upper legs, quads, and calves. I wonder if that's also because this is a higher drop shoe. So that's what I'm feeling in this guy. But I mean, 2 days after running a 4-hour 50K on 4,000 to 5,000 feet elevation, gonna be sore. I wonder what the official elevation of that was, because my watch got 37. And I think I looked at some of the other people and they are in the 3s, but the official race says 5. I don't think it was 5. I think it was probably closer to 4, but a lot of elevation. So I am going to be taking this run super relaxed. This week is going to be all about easing back into it, just running short. If I'm feeling like this still at mile 3, then I'll cap it at 4. For this chill recovery pace, though, this shoe is solid. Mile 1 here, 8:08 pace. That's honestly not too bad in terms of, not that I'm trying to run my recovery run hard, I'm just running it at a relaxed effort, but it's a way to gauge how my recovery is doing. If I come out here on the first mile and run a 9-minute mile, then I'll know I'm super beat up. But legs are okay. It's just gonna be a few days of relaxed running, and I'll be back at it. Probably do a shorter long run this weekend. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see how it's going. But after 1 mile, this shoe is remarkably similar to the non-knit version, which makes sense because they didn't change a lot. And for me, it's going in that solid category. It just feels like a solid shoe. It's not blowing me away, but for 70 bucks, what you're getting is a good bounce, very stable. That's what this is designed to do. A nice foam. And Puma has some of the best foams out there. And this foam just works. And I actually think if I were hammering on this run, or if I were doing some strides or picking it up, this would come alive even more. Or if I were a bigger runner, this would come alive more as a daily trainer. But at my relaxed pace, it wants me to pick it up a bit. It's peppy. This is a peppy son of a gun for sure. All right, mile 2. I'm laughing because I'm moving pretty good. Mile 2, 7:11. This is a bouncy shoe. I did not feel like I was going 7:11 pace. I'm fairly certain they changed the core foam in this. It is bouncy. And it does feel like a Baby MagMax. Now that I'm getting it going here, it feels very similar to a Baby MagMax at less than half the price. Now, bounce is good, stability is good. This is like a daily trainer version of that shoe. Geometry is the same. And like that shoe, I guarantee this is gonna get better with miles. Mile 3, 7:03. This is fire biz. This is a fire biz shoe. Stable, peppy. Man, this is a MagMax Jr. Sometimes I call my shots and they work. Other times there's a brick. This is a swish. This is a swish for sure. Now, I did want to talk for a second about how to know whether or not you should run after a big race. My number one thing is muscle soreness. So muscle soreness is okay. And as we get stronger as runners, the muscle soreness you get will decrease. That's the whole thing about DOMS. So you might have heard me joking about triggering DOMS. What is DOMS? DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. If you go to the gym and you do bench press for the first time ever, your arms are gonna feel tired after, but for the next day you'll be fine. 2 days later, you'll barely be able to raise your arms. Your chest will feel heavy and swollen. It actually will feel like you're jacked because your muscles will feel so swollen and puffed up when you have that DOMS. It's kind of a cool feeling. But what that is your body healing the damage that you did to your body. Your body healing the damage you did to your body. Yeah, that's what DOMS is. Anytime we lift hard, or we run hard, or we do any athletic activity that we're not used to, we put micro tears in our muscles. We're actually breaking our muscles down. You got to break them down to build them up. It's like in life, right? That's why when you take an L, you got to use it as fuel to get stronger. And that's literally what running training, lifting training is. You break your body down to build it up. So if you have muscle soreness after a big race, that's normal. And for most people, especially newer runners, should take a few days off. But as we get more advanced and experience, for example, that was my longest run ever at 4 hours and 13 minutes. But I've gone 3 hours, I don't know, 10 plus times. I think at least 10 times, must be at this point. I've gone over 20 miles, probably 45 plus times in my life. So I'm experienced with longer distances, higher mileage. So the impact on my body relatively is going to be lower. So muscle soreness is okay and to be expected. Now, if we have tendon soreness or bones, anything outside of muscle soreness, or our joints don't feel right, that's when, for me, I take it way down. And you can tell the difference between soreness and pain. So if regular soreness, achiness, heavy legs, okay to run through that for me. But if it's painful, or I feel anything in my tendons, knees, Achilles, that's when I either take it off or take the stress way down and bang some Epsom salt, massage, ice. And for inflammation, you want to do ice, not heat, because when your muscles are inflamed or anything is inflamed, it's already hot. It will literally be hot to the touch. So ice on the inflammation. I personally like Epsom salt baths. I personally also like CBD rubs. I've used a few random brands. There was one I got at the Chicago Marathon Expo that was good. It was similar to a natural icy hot alternative. That was a banger. So that's what I do. I took one day off yesterday because we were traveling as a mental reset. If we were home, maybe I would have run, but it's good to take a day off for me every once in a while. I do not want a run streak. I actively don't want a run streak because I want to be able to take a day off. I already have the daily YouTube videos. I don't need multiple daily things. That's my only daily thing. I don't have a daily thing for anything else. So that's my personal philosophy on when to recover and when to take days off. And of course, again, as newer runners, being conservative in the beginning is always the best course. So after your first marathon, definitely take at least 2 days off, at least. And you can take up to a week or two off before jumping back into it. There's different philosophies. I, of course, just like running, but if you're just getting started, just take a day off. You can make up that mileage later. And very easy running when we get back into it. I mentioned this before. This is the last thing I'll say on this, but the only times I've been injured, even this year, so in the last month, I think I tweaked something in my left calf. I was talking about it here on the channel, and it was on a speed workout. So I have never gotten injured just from mileage. It's always ramping up speed or trying to run too hard. Man, especially if I were to come out here and say, oh, I got DQ'd. I need to run a hard 5K PR to make up for it. That's how you get injured. That if tomorrow I come out here saying, I gotta show them run a 5K PR, that's a recipe for injury. But mileage like this, taking whatever pace comes, there's always an injury risk. There's a risk of getting hit by a car and getting taken out. There's a risk of lightning striking and taking us out. There's a risk anytime we run to get injured, and most athletes will get injured. I feel like a lot of people are scared of getting injured, but you can't find a professional athlete who competes at a high level who's never been injured. Look at Saquon Barkley. Look at that man. That's a bad man. What was he doing last year and the year before? His body was destroyed from injury. And now he's getting active, about to take down Eric Dickerson's all-time season rushing record. He's probably not, because I don't think he's going to average 120 yards a game. But theoretically, LeBron. Why is LeBron always icing his knees? Because he's always getting mildly injured. Tom Brady, he snapped his leg in half in 2007. So if you look at any high-level athlete, they have gotten injured. Clayton Young, Connor Mantz, both of those guys were injured before the marathon builds this year. So there's no way to avoid injury. We just want to take the risk down by appropriately dialing up intensity when needed, and otherwise crush and relax miles and doing the right things to recover. I'm just giving out free game. It's a podcast now, so I keep blabbering. That was mile 4, by the way. I'm feeling good, clearly. I don't know what the pace was on that last mile. Probably slower because I've been talking, but I'm gonna go to 6 at least, do my 6-mile loop right here. Woo, woo, big downhill here. Oh gosh, ginger. It's like some buttermilk breaded chicken with biscuits. I like some real ginger. I like some dark meat thighs. Gosh dang. But to fall off the bone, tender and juicy. Mile 5 is a great shoe. This is a great daily trainer. This is what a daily trainer should be. I love when I get shoes like this. Just comfortable, supportive, cushioned, similar to the Nova Blast 5. Now it's not as light, but a similar vibe. It's just a shoe, you put it on and it just works. This thing just works. Bro, this is the banger that Vladimir Putin didn't want you to know about. Straight heat. Might have to pull up shirtless on horseback, flexing. At mile 6, 6:44 pace. One more thing on the running injuries. Here's the best way to avoid running injuries. If you don't want to get a running injury, don't run. That's the best way to avoid running injuries. Otherwise, and yes, I'm being coy and cheeky here. Shout out to Wyatt putting in work. Bang. But otherwise, this is why I talk about running by feel and vibe. Learn your body. Don't trust the gosh dang watches. Hey, so it's meant, my watch this morning told me I was 71% recovered or something like that. They said I would be fully recovered in 21 hours. I just ran my first 50K 48 hours ago. I'm not gonna be fully recovered in 21 hours. So don't trust the technology. I don't say don't trust it, but don't rely on it. It can be a useful tool. And the reason it's saying that is because it's looking at my past 2 weeks of mileage were very low compared to what I normally run. I ran 65 on Thanksgiving week because family was here, and then 80 last week, including the 50K. I usually run over 100. So that's what it's going off of, but it's not taking into account that my body just went through the most stressful event. So you got to know your own body. And that's really how you avoid injury. And knowing your own body, knowing when to push, knowing when to pull, and accepting that there's always a chance. If you want to train at a high level, there is always a chance of getting injured. You just can't be scared of it. If we're scared of everything, we'll be sitting on our couch all day, ordering DoorDash, watching SpongeBob. You need to get outside. That was Charlie and the mom wagon. Decided to go 8 miles. I'm on the last mile here. I really want to rip off some strides because these feel like they'd be great, but I'm not gonna do it. That's the recipe for getting injured. Trying to run 4:30 pace 2 days after a 50K ultra marathon. I'm not gonna do it. I want to do it, but I'm not gonna do it. All right, man. First run back from the ultra. Standing on the business shoe market steps. 8 miles and 2100, 7 minutes and 11 second pace. I don't know why I said it like that. 58 minutes and 55 second run. Almost an hour run, 7:11 pace. And sometimes after big marathon PRs and running marathons in general, I have this central nervous system fatigue where I just feel super worn down, and it's almost like that's a part of the running recovery too. I don't have any of that. I felt super hazy after finishing, but I don't know if it's because the pace was so much slower on this one that something about the recovery is less. If you guys know anything about this, let me know, but I feel much better this time than I did after Chicago. Even yesterday when I didn't run, man, after the Chicago Marathon, the day after, I had a huge hangover. I don't drink alcohol, but a running hangover, a mental hangover where it just felt like I couldn't think straight. I was delayed. The marathon, Chicago was on a Sunday, so I had to work the next day. Monday, I was actually working from the hotel and then traveling home. And on the Zoom calls, I just felt so out of it. I don't have any of that today. I feel like I just did a normal long run this weekend and hit some heavy sets of squats after. And at the end of the race, I actually felt really out of it. At the end of the 50K, during the race, I felt worse than I did in Chicago. But this recovery has been better. And I don't think it's because I'm so much more experienced or anything like that. Chicago was just a month ago. It probably has to do with the pace and just the mental stress. There was a lot less mental stress, I think, of that 50K, given that the pace was slower. So that's a positive. We got an 8 mile run in, feeling so much better than I thought. I was going to go 4 to 6. I always set the recovery bar low because if I say I'm going 8 miles, I have to go 8 because I don't know. Once I put it out there, I just do it. I commit to what I say I'm going to do. But if I say 4 to 6, that gives me permission to stop at 4. So got a few extra miles here. Hopefully recovery is going to be smooth sailing. Feeling good so far. Let's get this breakdown in. What did Jay-Z say? All white, like I got the whole thing bleached? That's all white. I don't know. Can we still use Jay-Z bars? Can we still use Jay-Z bars? Looking like Young Jeezy 2007. Looking like West Side Gun moving through Buffalo 2016. All right, Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. I gotta stand offset today because there's a puddle out here. We did get some unfortunate damage on the brick white kicks. I mean, look at that. That's why people ask me, how do you keep your shoes so clean? Well, it's because I don't run in white shoes on rainy days. But I set this out last night. I really wanted to get some miles in it this morning. I thought this would be the perfect run for it. A nice recovery run, testing it, seeing does it have that MagMax character on a day when my legs are going to be the most beat up and brutalized that they've ever been, theoretically, because that was the longest I've ever run. And as I mentioned, legs are feeling a lot better than I thought. There's some definite soreness. My thighs are super tender, but still popping off the ground. And let's throw up the splits here. 8 miles at a, did I say 10 miles earlier? Maybe I do have mental fog. I don't have fog. I just talk a lot and get confused. But we did 8 miles at a 7:11 pace. Fastest mile was in the 6:40s. Slowest mile was the first mile at an 8 flat pace as we were getting into it. And this shoe was great. It feels like a cushioned workhorse daily trainer with some fun and with some bounce. Somebody asked me recently for a Vomero 17 replacement. This would be a good one. This is firmer than the Vomero 17. There's not a lot of flexibility or ground feel up in the front here, but it has that workhorse character. What do I mean when I say workhorse? A workhorse is an everyday running shoe that is designed to withstand a ton of miles, and to me, it has this emotional robustness to it. It feels like a sturdy stallion. Feels like it has some teeth and some guts. That's what I'm getting out of this shoe. Think about the Puma MagMax. 50mm stack, big, girthy base, strong, powerful shoe. You can run fast in it without it bottoming out. That's a workhorse. The old Nike Pegasus 39, that React X foam. It's a denser compound. Adidas Boston 12, that's a speed workhorse. That thing is not gonna bottom out. It takes 50 to 70 miles to break in. These workhorse type shoes, they're like wild stallions sometimes. They do need to be broken in. You need to get at least 10 to 20 minutes of running before they soften up. If not 10 to 20 miles, if not 50 to 70 miles, like the Boston 12. But once they do soften up and conform to your foot, they're great. Now, out of the box, I am really impressed with the performance of the ForeverRun Nitro Knit here. Walking around earlier when I was doing the fit and feel test, I was not convinced it was gonna be a banger. It had that clunky, not clunky. I didn't feel the other version, the standard version of this was clunky either, but that overly solid heel feeling. This did have that when I stepped in, but maybe because the upper is more forgiving and flexible. You can see with the knit here, it's a nice soft material and stretchy. Maybe because of that, maybe because the power tape is less restrictive. Again, you only have 2 pieces of the power tape on this version. And I'm always have to check my cords are plugged in. They are. Only 2 pieces of the power tape on this version versus the other version. It feels more flexible. Upper is great. And it's one of those shoes, again, it just disappears on my foot when I was running. I wasn't thinking about the shoe. If I weren't doing a first run review, I wouldn't have been thinking about the shoe at all. And that's the sign of a great daily trainer. You can have awesome banger shoes where you are thinking about it, like the Cloud Boom Strike. I'm always thinking when I'm running in that shoe how incredibly soft and bouncy it is. Or the Alpha Fly. That's another shoe where it's not quite disappearing on foot. It is very bouncy and aggressive. This is the opposite. It is bouncy. It's not aggressive at all. It is bouncy and it is fun, but unless I was actively thinking about what am I going to say about the shoe, how is it feeling, I wouldn't have been thinking about it at all. So that's a sign of a great shoe where, like the 860 V14, like the Asics Nova Blast 5, if you're just looking for one shoe to do it all, this is gonna be perfect. And because it's coming in at 300 grams, it's not as heavy and it's not as cushioned as those Super Max Stack shoes like the Glycerin Max, like the MagMax. I wouldn't personally recommend those for first shoe. If you already have a basic shoe like a New Balance Rebel or a Brooks Adrenaline, yeah, go ahead and get the MagMax as a second shoe. But for most people out there, I wouldn't recommend the MagMax as your true first running shoe just because it is such a souped up shoe. I wouldn't want to run in that shoe every day. The Super Max Stack shoes do make it easier to run, and if you're running higher mileage or training for a marathon or needing to take the pressure off, then they're great. But if you just have one shoe, I personally would prefer something that is more versatile. For example, I used to have the Ultra Boost as my one shoe, and then I had the On Cloud Stratus 2 as my one shoe a few years ago, or some other ones. Vomero would be a good shoe if you only need one shoe. Something like the New Balance 1080 V13, even that, I wouldn't recommend it to most people as one shoe. The V13 or the V14 because they're both super soft. This lands in that sweet spot where the foam does feel softer when I'm running fast, and especially if you're bigger than I am, I'm around 155 to 160, it's gonna read as softer, but it's not so soft where you're gonna be thinking, oh my gosh, this is such a squishy cushion feel. It has just the right amount of give and pep. So it's one of those shoes where I sound like I'm hyping it up, but all of the qualities to it are dialed in just right to be a solid daily trainer. And I love coming across a shoe like this where it's not the best, most exciting shoe, but it is pretty dang good, honestly. It is pretty dang good. It has a lot of those qualities that I liked about the MagMax, that bounce, that solid, stable heel, and a good toe off. They really did improve it. That was the thing I felt about the last version. You can see how curved this is. Unless you're on the podcast, you can't see, but trust me, it's like a ripe banana up in the forefoot versus the other version you already saw earlier in the office was very flat, the standard version. So this is a cool shoe. It's cool that they made this update, and this is why I like finding these hidden gems. I found this because somebody posted it on the Supwell app, like the New Balance Propel V5, like the Saucony Surge 3. These aren't shoes that the brands are going to be sending out to all of the reviewers, but the real sickos find them and tell me to review it on the Supwell app. The Audi Star 3 from Adidas, that's another one I've got to try. That could be a banger. I've heard good things about that. But for $70, let's answer the last 3 questions, or the 3 questions that we love to answer when we analyze these shoes. First, how does this compare to its intended purpose? So for $70, actually, let's save that. And by the way, MSRP of this shoe, I think is $140. I think it's $140 or $150. but at Dick's Sporting Goods, they're selling it for $70 when I got it. I think that deal is still active now. But how does this compare to its intended purpose? It's intended to be a stable, slightly cushioned, everyday running shoe. It does great. It feels versatile to me. I was clipping off 7 flats 2 days after an ultra, not bad. It can definitely pick up the pace. I even felt that it could go faster. It doesn't feel heavy on foot. It's right in that sweet spot. So versus its intended purpose, it does great. Also, the stability was great. You can see it has a slightly wider base, but there's not too much foam under here. This is also going to be a nice option if you don't want too much of a cushioned shoe, which takes me to that next question. How does it compare to everything else on the market? And that's really going to be the superpower here. You get that max. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Our driveways are uphill here, me and my neighbors, and this guy's driving a van with a big rear overhang and just scraping it. He's picking up my neighbor's a florist, and he was picking up some flowers to deliver in that van, just scraping. Oh. It's not looking good. I'm just gonna try to give him space and not focus on it. If you want something cushioned, but that's not overly so, that's not overly cushioned, that's not potentially fighting against the foam. In the first run I had in the Puma MagMax, I said this is maybe too much cushion at 50 millimeters. You're not gonna get that here, so it still does have the protection. I do not think it's gonna bottom out. Clipping off 7 flats for an hour is a decent test. I'll maybe double back. I'll definitely be getting more miles in this at some point, but decent amount of cushion and protection, great amount of cushion and protection actually for what it is without having that overly soft. He made it. He made it. Nice job, man. Without having that overly soft and stacked feeling. So compared to the category, this is gonna be slightly firmer than other cushioned everyday shoes, but also bouncier. I'm trying to think of a good comp for this that people might know about. Ultra Boost is a decent one. This is softer, feels softer and bouncier than the Ultra Boost, but it's in that sort of a zone where once you get it going, you're gonna get a good amount of bounce. But for some people, if you're not putting down force into the shoe, you might not be getting as much bounce. If I were clipping off 830 miles, I don't think I'd be getting more bounce unless I were a bigger runner. So compared to other shoes in this category, more stable for sure than other daily trainers, good amount of bounce, and fun for what it is. Really fun for what it is. I'd take this over the 880 Pegasus Saucony Ride type of shoes, similar to the New Balance 860 in that it's a dual foam shoe that's designed for stability and has some fun. So we'll have to do more testing on this guy, of course. But third question, how does it compare to everything else on the market? So at $70, this is a complete steal. I really hope that deal is still going on Dick's Sporting Goods. But compared to everything else on the market, if you're looking for a one do-it-all shoe, this is great. This is not the shoe I'm gonna take for a 2:30 marathon PR or a 25-mile long run, but I mean, you could do a 25-mile long run in this. I probably will do another high mileage test in it because it's a really solid shoe. But if you're looking for a one do-it-all shoe and you don't want to spend a ton of money, this is great. So shout out to Hidden Gems, shout out to the Supwell app and people for recommending this. $70 for the Puma ForeverRun Nitro Knit. That's a great deal. Stay tuned for more testing. This was, of course, a first run review, but I am looking forward to getting some more miles in the shoe. I cannot say that about every shoe that I take out of the box here at the shoe market. So thanks again to everyone out there. I will see you guys tomorrow because I'll be back with another video, another episode, because we're a podcast now. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode. AKA Lil Mag, AKA Small Forever, AKA Baby Max, AKA Baby Stacks, AKA Lil Stackin', AKA Lil Stack City, AKA Babe Stack. One more thing, the Nimbus, this is also a great comp. You can see the geometries underfoot very similar on these two. The Baby Max is a touch lighter, a touch more streamlined, maybe a touch bouncier, but two very similar shoes. It's like a 5% more streamlined or 10% more streamlined Nimbus. and 3% bouncier. So that's an idea of what you're getting yourself into. You can see it even looks like the Nimbus in what they've done to the upper and the general vibe of the shoe. One more thing. You already know what it is. We had to double back for the double run day in the Baby Magma. That's the new name. I can't be out here calling stuff Baby MagMax without putting up at least 10 miles. So we went 4 more miles, 7:19 pace. Last 2 miles on that, we're at 6 something. We are moving. We are feeling good. This recovery is going to be short. I can tell. These shoes are great. And it was actually pouring rain when I started. I'm out here in the Gonya, full Gonya shell. Certified dad drip. And of course, the Puma grip was great. And this foam has some pep. This foam has some bang to it. This inner core is great. So if you're looking for a new workhorse daily that can pick up the pace and is highly versatile, at $65. Woo! This is a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you need a reminder to get your miles in, let this be it. Out here grinding still. 2 days after the Ultra, back to putting in work. That's the only thing I know. I literally don't know anything else other than work. It's a problem. Workaholic. Mileage maniac. I'm a fiend for the fitness. I'm hungry. And I usually clean off my shoes, but I'm going to leave these dirty. As a reminder. One more thing. Fully matching outfits. It's hilarious. Shout out to Auntie Patty putting in work. Are you Santa's helper?
Yeah, we're Santa's helpers.
You want to do a thumbs up? That looks super good. Supwell Kitchen back in action. Is this asparagus?
Oh, and there's no scramble.
Yeah. Cool. Asparagus, peppers, and the tofu scramble. Blueberry waffles. They look super fluffy. Ooh, they feel fluffy. Some Light Strike Pro waffles. Some Puma MagMax Nitro waffles. With the potatoes. Perfectly geometric, too. Bang! Supwell Kitchen. Back inside, getting active. That's my husband is a clown face. You guys know it very well, I'm sure.